Now you know I listen to you naked. As I'm talking, I can't hear myself and it's driving me mad, so I'm just talking and hoping that I don't sound weird. But you know, in your head, you just, oh my god.
That was so
You should keep that bit in.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm with my friend Samuel.
Hello.
We've just been chatting for about an hour on your channel.
I'm nervous about editing that because it's going to be a meaty one.
Yeah, but we had a really good chat about relationships and monogamy, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So that'll be linked in the description box and the show notes if you listen to the podcast. But today on my channel, I wanted to talk about blogging and the whole blogging industry because I don't think this is something I've talked about a lot, even though I guess I am a blogger. But you are very much a blogger, I would say.
Yeah, but you're still a blogger.
I am.
You've probably written a blog post like more recently than I have. I've been so bad these past few months.
Well, I always think of an influencer or a blogger as someone who is doing it as like their career. I guess I'm doing it as part of my career, but it's not like my main income.
Well, initially as well, it was no one's income, so
exactly.
All the bloggers didn't start off as
but I always think you're really great to chat with about blogging and the industry. You always have like really good advice.
Oh, thanks.
And you're very like savvy with your whereabouts as a businesswoman in amongst the Instagram life.
Oh, keep talking to me.
So yeah, maybe to start, let's talk about our personal blogging journeys.
Yeah.
How did you get started with blogging, and at what point in the past like 18 months or so did it become like your full-time income?
Alrighty. So I began my blog in 2013, and before that I had loosely blogged online, so I had like a different, like I think I had like a Blogspot at one point. When I was really young I had like Picasso, is it called, not Picasso? Pixo, that's it. I had Pixo, and then later on I had Tumblr where I'd like share stuff, but it was kind of like all cool and moody. But it wasn't until like I properly started to blog 2013, and I got my website then, and that's when I started on WordPress. And it was initially just like a creative outlet, so I was modelling full time, and whilst I was like enjoying that and everything, I felt like a bit stifled creatively because I wasn't able to kind of produce and share and create, which is something I've always been a big fan of. So I started my blog, and it was just initially like travel diary, like what I've been wearing. I would literally, I guess then I used my blog the way you'd use Instagram now, so it would sometimes be literally like 3 pictures and then a paragraph.
Like that, wasn't it?
Like other times I kind of, as I went on, it got more long form, or if I went on holiday I would write paragraphs, but I'd almost write it like a story, like it was like a diary, very personal. And then it evolved over the years. A little bit of beauty, eventually started my YouTube channel, although I did that on and off. I still do it now, but I'm more consistent now. And then Instagram came along, and then Instagram obviously blew up, and that became a thing. And fast forward to 2019, I'm doing it as a full-time job, and I've done it now as my full-time job for about a year and a half. So I officially left all my modelling agencies in June last year, but I was already doing blogging full-time for about 6 to 8 months before that. But it was kind of like the start of 2018 that I was fully like, this is it, like I'm making enough money to live now. And then it wasn't until 6 months later that I had the guts to like leave my modelling agencies and go it alone and just be a creative and blogger.
Yeah. Cool. So I've been blogging in some capacity for years. I remember having a really old, like, embarrassing blog.
Yeah.
.blogspot.co.uk, wasn't it? And for me, it was discovering makeup and beauty stuff. So I discovered beauty videos on YouTube, and then I also discovered, because I was too shy to like put myself on camera, I also discovered beauty blogging, and I was like, oh, this is great, like I can just take pictures of the makeup and talk about it, but not have to be like on camera like this. It took me years to be able to have the guts to be on YouTube. Please don't go back to my old videos, although if you did, you'd see how awkward I was. But I'd watch these beauty vloggers, like, if you've watched YouTube for years, you'll know, like, Tanya Bear was, like, one of the main ones back in the day, Pixie Woo, the, like, Sam Chapman and Nick Chapman. Do you know Real Techniques, the brushes?
Yeah.
Yeah, they, like, founded them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You see, I was very late to YouTube, so I never watched any of those people. I kind of started watching YouTube when I started doing YouTube. Yeah, so I was like playing catch up, and I was like, oh, I was very behind.
Right, because I was an onlooker for years and just like dreamed of doing it. I very much came into it with that like, oh, I love these people, I like look up to them, I like want to be them, want to have their makeup, want to have their outfits, want to live their life. So yeah, that was my journey, and then because I was so obsessed with makeup and beauty, I actually trained to be a makeup artist, and that was the whole like root cause of that. So I was doing that for a few years, and my blogging kind of teetered off because that became my main focus, and I just didn't have time to film and stuff. And then I think I got a bit stifled, but in terms of everything being too much, so I was blogging about makeup and beauty, and then going to do a bride's makeup, and just talking about makeup all day. And I've always had other interests, I would say, from like, I remember when I was in college really getting into like health and fitness, and I've always been quite organised and goal oriented.
Yeah, well, that's the American.
Oh, is it? Orientated in the UK?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
No, it doesn't matter, but yeah. Oriented.
Yeah.
Orientated. Now I'm saying it sounds wrong, but yeah.
It always sounds wrong whenever I say it. I've always been that minded, so I love talking about life goals and all that stuff. And it just naturally progressed into more of a lifestyle channel and a lifestyle blog, and I just kind of stopped talking about the makeup and beauty stuff as much, and I still talk about it now, but
I definitely feel like you've found your calling though, because I find it so, I tell Kat all the time, I always post her on my stories and everything, I tell everyone, but I always like, your podcast is like my Monday motivation. If I wake up on the wrong side of it, honestly, so and you know what's funny, right? This is like TMI right now.
To say that.
She didn't. You can pay me later. No, I'm good. I actually listen to your podcast in the shower, weirdly enough. So what I do is like, I set my phone up at the side, and then I get in the shower, and it's like, if I'm like washing my hair or whatever, like it's just, and then it's usually still on when I get out of the shower, and then I'll take it to like go and do my makeup, and it's like I'm getting ready with someone, and I'm going, like listening along, because you always have really interesting guests, and I always feel really like pumped and ready to go.
Oh, thank you, that's so sweet.
So now you know I listen to you naked.
So yeah, the podcast came after YouTube, because again, I was addicted to podcasts myself, listening to them every day, loved like how much I got from them, and because I was talking more about like health and well-being, business, goal setting, all the other interests that I had, it just fit to start a podcast too. From there I started like life coaching, and I ended up coming on board with my friend's business as well, so she runs a blogging, events and community. I'm sure you'll have heard me mention it, We Blog North. So I like gradually over time moved away from makeup and beauty. Like I still do makeup, but the original reason I started blogging has completely changed now, and I think that's what I love about blogs, because it's all like personal branding, because it's so personal. you can let it evolve with you over time and
Definitely.
like what you discover.
Yeah, definitely. Because mine's changed and like gone back and round and
because you've like grown interest in like sustainability over the last few years, and obviously that's like quite a hot topic now, but that was a passion of yours.
It's funny, I talk about it less now, it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I just kind of like live my life with my own values or whatever, but now everyone's talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I'll just take a back seat on talking about this, but...
Yeah. But I think it's still, like, you're still influencing people to make better choices by just being you online.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love.
I'll try my best.
I think that's what I love about blogging, is it evolves with you and your life and your interests, but it also can influence people, like can make people's lives better.
Yeah, well, you hope. But then I hope people get from my videos, what I share online, what I get from other people. I mean, I wouldn't say YouTube's my like primary part of my job or like my main source of income. It's definitely not, but I feel like there is the way that I can connect with people most. And so when I'm putting stuff out on there, I always have things in my head that I want people to get from it. Like, I don't always need to be the most insightful creature, but if I can allow people to like switch off for like 20 minutes or be entertained, then I'm like, job done kind of thing. Because we all need that like outlet. And obviously sometimes I do hope to give people knowledge on something, like, you know, if it's style, give people inspiration, or... But usually like vlogs and stuff, I guess it's just to give people that relatability and be like, hey, here's a fellow friend, like, because that's what I get from it, and it's kind of like it's just an outlet, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I always think with a podcast or a video or whatever, from my content, because it is more like focused on a goal setting thing or someone's business, I always think if I can help one person, even if it's not helping them, that sounds like so saviour complex, but even if it's just giving them an idea of something they can try, and then they go away and do it and it really helps them, then that's my like favourite thing in the whole world. Like, I love it when someone like you or another friend, or even just like someone I meet at an event and who I've not met before, says, oh, I heard you interview that person who does this, and I went and did it, and now I do it every day and it feels so much better for it. I'm like,
well, with yours, I always find them really motivating. So it's like, that's what I always get from it. I'm like motivated. I think as well because the types of people that you're interviewing have usually done really cool things in whatever capacity. So it's almost like, that's my motivation for the week. Let's go. So yeah.
Well, I always feel really inspired by yours. So
thank you.
For anyone listening who is really nosy, because I would totally be nosy if I wasn't a blogger myself and I didn't know like what goes on behind the scenes.
Yes.
What is like blogging as an industry? How do you make money?
Blogging, the terminology, what it is, it's evolved so much and it's so multifaceted. So obviously I am called by most now an influencer, which is fine. I wouldn't really call myself that because the term is just a bit but I guess from a marketing perspective it makes sense because you're influencing people to buy stuff or whatever. You know, basically put. But for me, my intention when it comes to what I share on the likes of Instagram and my blog, and even YouTube to some extent when it comes to lookbooks and things, it's a creative outlet. So for me, getting to be a full-time blogger is a way to be paid to be a creative. So I could also be, I don't know, doing something else creative and still feel fulfilled. It just so happens that blogging is what I'm doing. So for me, my intention with everything is to like put my creative stamp on it. So as opposed to like just sharing stuff, I don't know, like, how do I even explain it? It's like, as you know, like I like to do stop motion animations and stuff like that. And it's just a creative outlet, but then at the same time, then when I work with brands, I guess I put my creative stamps and ideas on selling that thing. But again, coming back to like the whole my thoughts on things, I'm very particular with which brands I work with, and it still has to be things that resonate with me and that I agree with and that I'm interested in and that I would buy and that I think it's okay for other people to buy if they wish to do so. So I am thoughtful in that capacity. But yeah,
I think so.
For me it's about creating, but it's very different for other people. So their thing might be like purely that their style. So for them it can be just sharing like outfits all the time, which is fine because there's a place for that. And yeah, have I even answered your question? Because I feel like I've just...
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Have I? Okay.
So Instagram is your main platform?
Yeah, I hate that it is, to be honest, because it kind of puts the control into a platform that I have no control over, which I hate. I mean, so far there's been no issues with it, even with there's been issues with the algorithm, don't even let me go there, but there's been no issues in terms of like it affecting my work, even though at times like things like the algorithm have like definitely annoyed me. But it's kind of boring to hear bloggers speak about the algorithm, so let's not go into that because it is, I know it's so boring. So yeah, that's kind of like my main source of income, and then there's also blogging and YouTube. And on top of that, I found because I put a lot of emphasis on the creative side, I get more jobs now where it's like brands that I've worked with are like, oh, we like how you did that creatively. Can we hire you to do that for us? But not necessarily you sharing it. So like, I've done stop motion
content
for
their
them.
social media.
Yeah, so I think that's worked in my favour because I think some people kind of don't understand how I do it full time because it's not like I have the biggest following, but I think it's because I have worked quite well to diversify my income in just how I share things. So I'm not just like sharing iPhone pictures. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but my thing is like producing high quality content. So in a lot of cases it's good enough for the brands to share on their websites and stuff like that, which of course like you can get usage from and all sorts of things. So there's really other ways to monetize what you do. I've even had it where Damien and I have shot product for brands that I've worked with, and then they've been like, oh, we'd love to work with you on this, like would you be interested in shooting, like, so I'm almost kind of going back to my modelling roots, but then I'm directing the shoot, planning it, like Damien shooting it, so they're kind of getting a cheaper deal because they're only having to hire 2 people and we're planning everything, doing everything, but then we're getting a good deal because we're getting a fee that we're happy with to do that. So, and it's kind of good because then I don't feel like I'm always selling to my audience, because there's a lot I do behind the scenes that isn't like hashtag ad, which is fine, like, because like I say, when I do them, I'm never ashamed because they're always stuff that I feel proud to promote, but then I am aware of like it being too much. So it is nice when brands come to me to do other stuff, and it makes me feel quite, to put it quite bluntly, validated, like yay, I have worth other than just my follower count, which can be so like stressful.
How you look.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really nice when people are like, oh, we like your creative stuff, and like we like how you take pictures of products and how you do stop motions, which I've definitely made like my little niche, so I'm glad I started those. So yeah, I guess that's how I do it full time, how I make enough doing it and live quite comfortably from it. So I think that's the thing to say to people, that you need to kind of think outside the box, because it's not just as simple as like Instagram, and I don't think you definitely should not rely on it, even if you have like 1 million followers, because at the end of the day, if the platform died tomorrow and that's your only stream of income, like it's kind of like, especially you got bills to pay, gotta pay that mortgage, you know what I'm saying?
We were around in the MySpace days. Where's MySpace now?
Exactly.
We don't know her anymore.
Exactly.
She's gone.
Yeah,
I think that's great advice, and not earning a full-time income from sponsored content, or not really earning any income from sponsored content. Like, I don't earn any income from the podcast. I don't earn anything for writing a blog post. I don't earn anything from posting on Instagram. I do it for free because I love it and I like the creative aspect of it, like you said, but it also is marketing for my life coaching and the business that I run with my friend Weblog North. So I think it's good to, like you've said, diversify. I think if you're gonna create a sustainable career online, you have to have other things on the go, because if Instagram was dead overnight, not that I think it's going anywhere anytime soon, but you still have those contacts as
I'd be like, do you want me to shoot for you? Do you need any stop motions? I can film a video.
Because you're a creative freelancer and you're a service provider and you can do X, Y, and Z, you've got a really great skill set, and you've already worked with those people, you would have something else to fall back on.
It definitely makes me a lot less worried. I feel like I know what I'm doing, do you know what I mean? I feel a bit like, I got this, I'm cool. So that's good. And that's what was I going to say? That's what I was going to say. You even said that, I think the other day in your podcast, was it, where they were saying you're giving your audience free content. Was that your podcast?
Probably.
I'm sure it was, saying
I remember saying this recently. Yeah,
I'm sure it was yours, and you had a guest on. I listened to so many of them again.
I feel like I've said recently, for me, it's not everyone is able to pay for a life coach. Or to invest that amount of money or that amount of time or whatever into themselves. So for those people, I am happy to make free content that will still be really helpful and inspiring for them and supportive. That's the reason why I make it for free, and there's a lot of it. So if someone came to me and was basically like, will you coach me for free? That's where I can know, sorry but no. That's where I draw the line, because I invest so much time into those free resources for people. That's my line of this is, like you've said, I'm happy to do this level of service for a price that I'm happy with. Because if you're gonna spend so much time creating content, at the end of the day, you need to have something to keep you going. I mean, we all started out for the love of it, and we all had part-time jobs or full-time jobs whilst we were trying to build it up. But when you reach a point where you do want it to be your full-time, long-term career, there has to be your line. And I guess with you, that would be at this point gifted content versus ads. #ad. Because you put so many hours into a stop motion video or something for a brand who are...
You ain't getting a free stop motion. No way. The last stop motion collaboration I did that was paid, it took, and I did 2 for this brand, so only one of them that I did took 4.5 hours for a 40 second stop motion. 4 hours!
But even that's another level of commitment.
That was commitment. I don't even, when we started, because Damien helped me with that one, some of them I do on my own, but some I need help depending on what I'm moving about. But that particular one, I don't think we realised that it was going to take that long, otherwise I don't think we'll have started it. But the brand was thankfully really happy. I thought if this would have been one of those projects where you send it to the brand and they're like, oh, can you change this? I think I would have just shoved it back in the face and be like, screw you, I'm never doing this again.
But even that aside, because I feel like not many influencers are putting those that length of time into a post, you still invest so much in your equipment. And some people pay for assistants or all the other costs of basically running a business. It does get to a stage where you have to know your worth.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think for anyone who does it in a creative capacity, I think, because this is why we actually talked about this off camera before we started filming, we kind of know, and I'm not saying it is not easy to grow on the likes of Instagram, YouTube or whatever these days, because it is such an oversaturated market, but at the same time, already coming from a place with decent sized audiences like each of us, we actually know the formula if you wanted to kind of like grow, kind of. And I say it sounds sort of cocky to say like, oh, I know I could grow, but I don't want to. It's not that, but we kind of know the things that we could do. However, they're not really in line with either of our brands. And for me personally, like rather than chasing numbers, I try and chase what gives me like value and what fulfills me and like what I feel happy with, if that makes sense. So that might sound like the worst business plan, but what I mean by that is, and I'll say this to anyone else who's creative, whether you're doing it as like an influencer or even if you're just like any sort of creative business, anything from like a print designer to, I don't know, a fashion designer, use your platforms as your portfolio. So for me, sometimes I post things and I'm like, this isn't going to do well, but that's the kind of work I would like to do. So that's the kind of thing I will share, because I'm not just seeing the likes of Instagram as just Instagram where I get paid to post for brands, which I do, which is great, and obviously I want to continue that, but I also see it as like, this is a portfolio for brands who want to work with me behind the scene and future things. And it's worked so well, like even when I started doing, because I've done stop motions for years, but I've never done them on social media. And when I did my first one, I just so happened to like be wearing a particular brand, and I didn't even tag the brand in it. Like it wasn't the first one I put on Instagram. I thought nothing of it. I just thought, oh, this is a bit different and fun. And then that brand got in touch and was like, oh, we'd love to work with you, because they'd seen that stop motion. And then after that, so then I did that, and then it just kind of spiraled. And then I still do ones just for me, but the amount of brands that will email and be like, oh, can you do stop motion? And it's like become like a thing. So that's almost like become my USP, and I'm able to, you know, charge a higher fee for those because they take a lot longer, and I can provide them for the brand, or I can do them myself promoting. So it's kind of like everything I put out is quite considered, and not in like, not too much, because I'm not considering it. I mean, there's definitely things that could do better for engagement, but like I said, I'm not going to go into that. But in terms of what I'm trying to put there out as a creative, whilst at the same time trying to like, you know, connect with my audience and inspire without sounding a bit like you know, but that's how I see it. If you are a creative, obviously that's not your vibe, you don't have to do it like that, that's just me, but like it's a portfolio page, like, you know.
And I do think building an online presence of any kind is just the reality of building a career in 2019. Like, if you want to be a published author, or if you want to be a coach, like establishing yourself in a certain area, it's just the easiest way to do it now in 2019. It's not like you can print out your CV and knock on someone's door. Like, that's not really how to grab someone's attention now. I think it's a long game with blogging and content as a career now. Because when I first started the podcast, I had no intention of making any money from it. And, you know, if I do eventually, great. But for me, it was a long form way to connect with people, which as a life coach is obviously really important. For you, it was like a long game of thinking, oh, I want to be being paid to do the types of creative stuff that I really love doing, and I love like sinking my teeth into, rather than just like a mirror selfie. Not that there's anything wrong with that,
because
but I do think in years to come, the stuff that is like a quick fix to grow, or to grab people's attention, or to make you money, is not going to be there anymore, or it's not going to be effective anymore. And it's people who think of the long game and focus on what they're good at and have good intentions will still be around. I hope so anyway. We'll see. Who knows. To finish, I wanted to talk about gifted content
Yeah.
versus paid, because I think not a lot of people, well, I think people are becoming a lot more savvy about it now because it's been in the media
Yeah.
so much with the new guidelines. But I think it's a great way to open the conversation up
Yeah.
and just be really honest about it, because you're really honest about it.
Yeah.
I'm always really honest about it, and we both have like different levels of experience with
Yeah.
it. So yeah, for anyone listening who doesn't have a clue what it is, like what does it mean if something's gifted, what does it mean if something's an ad?
You want me to?
Yeah.
So
You're the expert.
this is my view of it, because I believe, this is what I think, if a brand comes to me and says, I'd love to gift you something, there should be nothing implied from that. Like they might imply, but they can't expect anything at the end of the day, because especially when it's someone's full-time job, I think it's kind of rude to come to someone and say, oh, because I do still sometimes get these emails and I delete them, I'm not going to lie, I don't even respond. And they'll say, oh, we'd love to send you, I don't know, a top, and we expect like 3 Instagram posts or 2
Really
stories.
specific.
They're really ridiculous, and to be honest, a lot of the time it's these fast fashion brands I don't even want to work with anyway. Shade. But like, it's just a bit like you've clearly not even looked at what I do and like what I'm interested in, because you know that I wouldn't be the right fit. And also, even if you were going to just take it on your iPhone, like that's still someone's time. That person still has to go out and shoot that. Why would this brand think it's worth their time to? I don't know, like I just think it's very sometimes rude how people can, and it's not, and it might sound from the opposite side like, oh, entitled blogger, but it's not that. You have to understand like it's someone's job and the time and effort they put into it. It's the same way as you wouldn't say to a painter, oh my gosh, we'll give you this free paint and all you have to do is paint 2 rooms in our house and we'll put you up, we'll share it online and you'll get loads of exposure. It's just kind of like, oh, come off it. Like, it's just, get real. And I say that to someone even if you've got a small following, but I think it's okay when a brand comes to you with a gift in and it's like, it's a gift, because a gift, the word gift, I don't know. I was going to say in the dictionary it says, I don't actually know what it says in the dictionary, but I'm presuming it's something along the lines of like a gift is something that you just give without expecting anything back. It's not, you know, it's not a collaboration, it's not a trade, it's a gift.
Not a transact. It's not like a business transaction.
So I say no to a lot of gifts because I honestly don't need a lot of anything right now in my life, but occasionally if there's a brand that I feel like is in line with what I like, if I like the brand, if I love the pieces and I feel like, you know what, I'd like to try that, if it's like beauty or skincare or, you know, oh, actually that would fit in my wardrobe, and I, in my head, because I don't accept things that I have no intention to share, because I do think it's kind of fair to give back, but at the same time, that brand needs to not expect it from me, because you can receive things and then you get them and you're like, that wasn't quite how I expected. And I don't want to just promote something just for the sake that it was free, because it's kind of pointless. It's not really doing anything for me or my audience. So I'm really specific with that. So if a brand comes to me and they say like, oh, hey, we love your stuff, let us know if you want something, if this is a fashion brand, if you want something from our website, and that it's open as well. I think it should be like, you know, you pick the piece, because at the end of the day, like, it shouldn't be like an implied like ad or anything. It should be like an authentic choice. Then that's, and I accept giftings in that capacity, but again, I'm quite specific with them. And then when it's an ad, that's usually when a brand has the terms, and I'll allow them to have these terms because we're working together and I'm being paid. However, the terms have to fit with me, and I'm always, in fact, I negotiate terms quite a lot, because the amount of times I read the contract, I'm like, yeah, that bit where it says, and you need to know your rights and your worth at everything with that when it comes to like usage, how long they're going to own the images, where they're going to use the images, and whatever it kind of is. Especially for me, who kind of, I shoot high res and I put a lot of effort into images, so sometimes brands might be a little bit sneaky and be like, we're just going to put those on the website.
Yeah, exactly. Like paying you to post on your Instagram and tagging a brand is a lot different to them to paying you to post on your Instagram and send them the images to use on their website. that is gonna be there for 6 months or whatever.
So there's all these things to take into account, and I feel like I'm going on a tangent here. I'm really going into
it's really interesting.
But there's things that I think people don't think about, even from like if you are a blogger and you're starting to get paid collaborations and you're not really knowing like what's okay, I always say like definitely read the contract, check the terms. I always go through the terms and say I literally spell things out in emails because I feel like it's the best way so there's no confusion. So down the line they don't go, oh, but we thought you meant no. I wrote that in the previous email. You can see everything, like it needs to be kind of like there in black and white. So yeah, that's when it's a paid collaboration. So there has been times where brands come to me and say it's a gift, and then you go okay great, and then they come back and they're like all we require is, and I'm like no, I don't mind accepting the gift, and if I like it I will naturally share it, but you can't lay down those rules and then, because it takes time to create content. I feel like I sound really like but
no, you don't.
I feel like it's this with any sort of job as a creative.
As a businesswoman, you need to be assertive as well.
Yeah. Oh, I've become so much more. I was like a little puppy dog once, and now I'm like, don't mess with me.
I love it.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it can kind of come across as like, but it's not that. I think any sort of creative, like you can easily. I think in the creative industry, because it's not like a normal job. So I think so many people, even not on social media, can be kind of taken for a ride, especially when it comes to working with bigger corporations and brands who have like a big legal team, and like, you know, they kind of like know how they can like weave around, and like and then to be honest, I've barely had any I've not had any bad experiences. I've just had times where I know I need to like watch out, and I've seen other people where, you know, images have been used for things and stuff like that. So this is the same sort of thing that could be taken into consideration if you're a photographer or an artist. It's just kind of like watching your own back and like knowing your worth. And
you've got to, I feel like if you run your own business in anything, but especially if you're on your own and you're like a creative freelancer or whatever, you've got to be your own, like you've got to advocate for yourself and be your own biggest fan. Say
for example, a brand comes to me and they say, oh, I'd love to gift you something, and I get like a really cool like video idea, but I know that I wouldn't do a video for free, because if it's going to be like a creative one, I'm going to put a lot into it. And that's when I could potentially pitch the brand and say, you know, I'd love to accept a gift, but if you wanted to take this to the next level, I really think we could work together in this capacity, and give them actually like a what do you call it?
I do X work for free. But if you would like me to do X amount more work, then you can pay this. Or I know some influencers are like, I can do a video and an Instagram post for this, or I can do an Instagram post and an Instagram story for this, and it's like laying out your ground rules. Like I said, as a business owner, I know what I'm creating for free, but equally I know what I'm not willing to do for free. And influencer work is the same. Especially if you like do reach the point where it's your full-time income. You have to like draw the line.
Definitely. And not to like lose your point that you asked about the authenticity, like, well, we both would always, if we were paid, it's ad, and if it's gifted, we'll say it's gifted. Like, they're the general guidelines now anyway, so it should be disclosed. Like, I really have no shame in saying what's been gifted or what's been paid, because at the end of the day, I've accepted those things because I like them if it's a gift, and I'm doing that collaboration paid because like I'm interested in that brand. And I think it's pretty obvious when, depending on who you follow, if they're interested or not. Like, you'd be surprised at the amount of stuff, and this isn't in any arrogant way, that bloggers, influencers, whatever you want to call us, get offered. Like, it's a lot, and if you really wanted to milk it, you could probably just say yes to everything and make way more. But I think you need to have a level of integrity, because I see my audience like an extended friendship group to some capacity. Like, if I wouldn't sell it to, you know, say a close friend or my mom, then I'm not going to put it online to say.
Yeah.
Because I think you kind of need those values in your head. Mine's very varied because I'd say I'm lifestyle, so I'll promote everything from alcohol to fashion to travel.
Sounds so funny. I'll promote alcohol.
Everything. Like, just put it out there. I'm waiting for a champagne. I love champagne, you know. I love it. And I'm waiting for a champagne brand.
Law of attraction.
Literally, like, I love champagne. I love it more than Prosecco. And I'm just like, I see people doing these champagne ads, and I'm like, you don't even drink champagne. I want champagne. I want a champagne.
Well, there we go.
I know, I need to put it out there. But anyway, back to things. So yeah, but I do enjoy alcohol. So I have done quite a few gin collaborations, as we were talking about before. But I love gin, so it's like it's a legit thing.
Yeah, like you would be buying that product.
Oh yeah,
using it and probably like sharing it.
Yeah,
exactly.
it anyway.
Yeah. But also, you deserve to make money as a businesswoman and be paid for your time, and see this is how marketing works now.
Oh yeah.
So that brand, like, I can see why people would be jaded by the whole influencer thing, but I would rather know a brand's marketing budget is going towards a businesswoman, like doing it on her own, working really hard, than a billboard that...
Oh, well, yeah, I was going to say, from that angle, especially from having worked as a model, and having times when I've actually, you know, on shoots and stuff, heard the budgets that, like, brands put behind things like billboards and adverts on TV, like, it is sickeningly large. So even sometimes the fees that you think bloggers are getting, especially like the bigger ones, it seems like a lot of money, but in comparison to that billboard, like, it's actually only a fraction of the price. And also that blogger is probably a better person to go with because they're going for like that target market, as opposed to a billboard. It's like, you know, everyone from your granddad to the postman can see that, but it doesn't mean they're the target audience. Whereas usually if it's on like an Instagram page or a YouTube channel, it's that specific audience.
Yeah. If this is a topic of interest, then maybe we can do another podcast.
Oh yeah, like maybe a
future,
Q&A.
Like a really intense Q&A and really go into the nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If it's of interest.
Yes, that would be good.
But yeah, thank you for watching.
Yay.
Thank you, Samio, for having me as your lovely home and on your channel too.
Yay. And now we're going to go for pizza.
Yes,
pizza.
Lunch now.
I'm very excited because,
So yeah, make sure you go subscribe to Samio. Follow her on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.